Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Today I've got the sun as the obstacle and the fool as the opportunity. I was kind of thinking, what would be the inversion of the sun, like a black hole or something? Um, but no, the kind of idea that I had thinking about this, particularly with the Marseille card, I was thinking about how individuals that just are giving, and they give in an they just freely give to everyone. And this could be resources. It could be someone, though he'll hire anyone who needs a job, that kind of a thing. Someone who maybe offers their, an expert, maybe who offers their opinion or their advice to anyone that will seek it out. uh, when 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 you just give things in this kind of uncurated free way, some people will some people will have issues with that. Some people will feel like, some people are more deserving than others of whatever this thing is that you're handing out, and will you know will demand for you to at least reconsider, factor in their special circumstances for why they, or some people they represent, are more deserving of what otherwise would be an equal share that you would be passing around. Um, with this card, I see the character on the left. Um, I imagine that this is a blind person, and the tail kind of has a little bit to do with it, because it's like kind of reflects back to the two characters that are present with the devil, and they have tails, and they're kind of the subconscious, they're underground. Even though this person is out in the light of day, they're it's like they still have this blindness about them. And you got this other character that's um, helping them out, guiding them. Kind of makes me think of the seeing individual as maybe arguing, putting forth an argument to the sun, saying, "Look, this guy, he can't even appreciate what you're putting out. You know, he's not even properly using any of this light that you're giving out there indiscriminately, just to everyone. It's like I should have his share because he can't appreciate it." That kind of an argument, just this thing that you're providing, some people can't even appreciate it. Some people are going to use it for the wrong things. you know some people, yeah, they won't appreciate it as much as I appreciate it. They don't care that you're giving them the job. I really want to work here, that kind of thing. And it's just and yeah, you could be met with resistance, and that indiscriminate indiscriminate attitude towards whatever it is that you can provide out there. um, can be the source, can be the target of an attack. And it could be made out to be dangerous because you're not uh, really thinking hard about where these resources should go. um, yeah, I don't want to get into too many more examples, because I feel like I'm going to bring up a bunch of political examples that I just don't feel like getting into. But yeah, maybe you could sort of, imagine the kind of stuff that happens with fighting and arguing over tax dollars, and then apply that on a smaller scale to something that maybe you have of abundance that people might fight over. And then if they don't get as much as they feel like they deserve, they might kind of see you as this indiscriminate individual. you know Even though that is, like, that's the equality, right? But it's like some people deserve more equality than other people, apparently. And then we got the Fool. Interesting difference between the Marseille and the Waite is that Waite added the 0, and it actually took me a pretty long time to stop thinking about the Fool as kind of having this 0 number, because 0 still, I think the way we think of 0, certainly the way that I do, is like, well, it comes before 1, and it has a certain infinite nothingness associated with it. I think the lack of a number is intentional in the Marseille, and I think that maybe transforming it into a 0 uh, reduces its sort of its its potency or its ability to be creatively interpreted. But anyways, um, I like to think of this guy as someone who is really just into something that they're pursuing. They're in love with something, and I used to interpret the dog or whatever the animal as kind of like pushing this individual, and the blue color, like it was like a spiritual kind of metaphorical cultural drive that was pushing the Fool forward. But I was just reading something, and someone was describing the card as the dog, um, the dog attacking the Fool and tearing his trousers, and that was part of the green color that's exposed. And then I was looking at a bunch of other decks, and I started noticing in a bunch of other decks, not in all of them, but in a lot of them, the Fool is depicted as being attacked by a dog or a serpent and being bitten, but marching on, ignoring it, and kind of made me think. He's got this walking stick. He's got this other stick that he's carrying his bag, his bindle on, and so this guy's got like two sticks. He could probably swat that animal away, but his tools are there to get him to where he's going, and it almost makes me think like he is so focused on getting there that whatever kind of damage he takes along the way it's just not worth paying attention to. It's not going to stop him. There's no presumption of this attack as being something that could, there's no chance it could hold him back from reaching his goal, and he's just going to get there. And if he picks up a bunch of scrapes and bruises along the way, if he gets bitten or whatever, it's just none of that matters because he just wants to get to where he's going. And that's it's kind of foolish in a way, but at the same time, is it more foolish to maybe stop every time some little thing happens and maybe you feel some pain, there's a distraction, or maybe possibly even reconsider the journey altogether, right? It's like, man, I've been going towards this thing, but now I've gotten bitten a couple of times, I fell, I scraped my knee. It's like maybe it's not worth it. And is that foolish, Is the sum total of all the little sufferings really really worth giving up on that one big thing? And if it's not, then is the ideal a balance between keeping your eye on the prize but also, tending to your wounds, or is the ideal way of pursuing that goal just complete ignorance of everything else, and just going for that thing? And there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of Fool archetypes that, while being while still being, credited with the title of being a fool, they're also respected or revered for being like true and honest. It's like, well, at least he was doing that thing that he believed in. Like he was really just standing up for that whatever that cause was. And there's a lot of people that get like, you know, oh, it's foolish to whatever. I don't know. There's a war, and there's the militant regime is the tanks are rolling into town, and you stand up against this force that you have no chance of stopping. But it's like, but you're following that dream that you have. You're following that passionate belief in something. Is it foolish? Absolutely. But at the same time, are those the kind of acts that you know really make a statement, really inspire people, really after the fact, whether you reach your goal or die trying, um, it that reputation of being so single-mindedly focused on something is respected nonetheless, right? So I think this card is like, I think maybe this is the being seen as, people seeing you as a fool, people seeing you as the kind of person who's foolish for pursuing something, and it might look like it's at a loss, and I think it's like that reputation potentially transforming into the that second stage where they're like, oh, you know what, I always thought that was kind of a crazy idea, but that crazy motherfucker did it, you know so I think it's the opportunity to, yeah, just pursue that thing that you're in love with. And I kind of feel like love is the main theme, not necessarily for a person, but just that kind of passionate embrace of some idea. It's an idea of a person as being perfect or beautiful or whatever, or some craft or some activity, whatever. Um, but yeah, that's what this one kind of made me think about. I'm gonna wrap things up there. Thanks for watching. Drop me a like if you enjoy the video, and feel free to comment free reading if you would like to be entered into the weekly draw for a free one-on-one reading. I'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you then. Take care.